Hi, my name is Jennifer. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would have a go at trying to predict the Booker Shortlist 2023. This is despite having only read 2 of the books so far, but I wanted to get involved. I wanted to have a go at trying to predict the 6 books that will make the shortlist. The shortlist is announced on the 21st of September. So I thought I would run through first of all which books I've read and or DNF'd, which books I am still hoping to get to, and then give you my predictions. So I'll start with the DNFs. There are 2 books that I have DNF'd, and those are How to Build a Boat by Elaine Feeney and A Spell of Good Things by Ayobami Adebayo. Now, I DNF'd both those books pretty early on because they just weren't grabbing me. Potentially it was just that I wasn't in the mood for either of them when I picked them up, and I didn't want to force it. Then I kind of DNF'd In Ascension by Martin McGuinness. I haven't logged it as a DNF on Storygraph because I listened to about 2 minutes of the audiobook and I really did not like the narrator at all. If I can get my hands on a physical copy, I would give it a go, but my library at the moment doesn't have it in. What else have I read? I'm also kind of reading, but not really, maybe DNFing, House of Doors by Tan Tuan Eng. I haven't really given this a fair shot yet. I got this out of the library. Oh god, I'm only on page 8, so that doesn't really count. I picked this up and for some reason then just didn't pick it up again for a few days. I've completely forgotten the few pages I've read. I may, if it gets shortlisted, I might try and properly read it. So then the 2 books that I have read from the long list are Old God's Time by Sebastian Barry, and I really liked it. I thought this was a very, very good book. It is very traumatic and devastating and sad, but I thought it was an excellent book. And the other one I've read is Pearl by Sean Hughes. So I listened to the audiobook of Pearl and I really enjoyed it. And actually, although I rated on Storygraph Old God's Time slightly higher than Pearl, I feel like I sound really scouse when I say Pearl. Pearl has actually stayed with me more than Old God's Time has, and it's a book that I have found myself thinking about. I think Pearl is quite a deceptively quiet book, but it really has a lot going on, and for me there was some really poignant and moving moments within there, especially sort of towards the end of the book. So I really like that one as well. In terms of my future reading plans, as I'm filming this tomorrow, I will be going to the library to pick up Prophet Song by Paul Lynch, which I'm really looking forward to, and The Bee Sting by Paul Murray, again, which I'm really looking forward to. I am in queues for Study for Obedience by Sarah Bernstein. I asked the library to purchase a copy of this, and kindly they have done, and it's on its way to me. And I'm also in the queue for this other reading by Paul Harding. I don't know if I'm going to like that one or not, but I'll give it a go. And then I'm in a queue for the ebook of If I Survive You by Jonathan Escoffrey. I think I'm not due to get that till October. And I don't know if I'll read it because I don't really like ebooks, but we'll see. So there's only 2 that I've not been able to get my hands on at all, and those are All the Little Bears' Hearts by Victoria Lloyd Barlow and Western Lane by Chetna Maru. So that's a brief summary of my reading of the Booker long list so far. So I have come up with some predictions. I mean, these predictions are slightly weighted towards the ones I've read. But anyway, here we go. So the first book that I think will make the shortlist, and I'll probably be quite surprised if it doesn't, and that is Old God's Time. I do think it's a very, very good book, and Sebastian Barry has previous form with the Booker as well. The next one that I think is going to make it is Prophet Song by Paul Lynch. I've heard so many good things about this book. In my mind, I imagine either Prophet Song or In Ascension, one of them is going to make the shortlist, but not both. And they're probably not similar at all, but in my mind I feel like they fill a similar space on the shortlist. So I think Prophet Song is going to be there. Next one I think is going to be there is The Bee Sting. And The Bee Sting was my early winner prediction for the book, based on not a lot really. The Bee Sting is very long. It's the longest book, I think, on the long list. And I do think sometimes maybe a long book has an advantage because the judges have to reread all the books at each stage. And potentially with a long book, maybe there's more to get out of it. I think The Bee Sting will be there. My fourth prediction for the shortlist is Pearl by Sean Hughes. As I was reading Pearl, I was thinking it probably wouldn't make the shortlist. But by the time I got to the end of it and having sort of sat with it for 2 or 3 weeks since I finished it, I do think it's got a decent chance of making the shortlist because I do think it's a book that stays with you. I do think it's a book you'd get more out of on a reread because you always have to think about rereadability for the book prizes. And I really hope that Pearl does make the shortlist. Okay, so books 5 and 6. I mean, I really wasn't sure. Book 5, I have gone for House of Doors by Tan Tuan Eng. I think I have DNF Tan Tuan Eng before. I DNF The Garden of Evening Mists. I think his writing is quite lyrical. I feel like that probably would fill that space on the shortlist. And he does have previous Booker form as well. And the final book I really wasn't sure about, but what I've landed on is A Spell of Good Things by Ayobami Adebayo. I just feel like that might bring something else to the shortlist. I've tried to think about my predictions as like a shortlist as a whole and what I think would be like a well-rounded shortlist, having only read 2 of these books. I mean, what do I know? So my 6 predictions are Old God's Time, Prophet Song, The Bee Sting, Pearl, House of Doors and A Spell of Good Things. We'll find out on the 21st of September just how wrong I am. I mean, I'd hope to get at least a couple right, surely. Let me know if you have any thoughts on the long list, what books you think will make the short list. And let me know, does anyone know what time the shortlist is getting announced on the 21st? Because it would be helpful to know. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts and I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye.